In July, 7:30 had a story about thousands of koalas facing injury or death due to the logging of vast tracts of blue gum timber in southeastern Australia. The report named the country's largest woodchip exporter Australian blue gum plantations. The company ridiculed the suggestion that koalas were under threat, but since then it's been slammed in an environmental audit and forced into a public admission that it has injured and killed koalas. Greg Hoy reports, and a warning, this story contains some disturbing images.
After the logging machines have left, this is what's left behind. These lucky koalas survived, but their habitat is gone. Confused, exposed and stressed, their health is deteriorating. Wildlife carers are keen to catch them, to check for injuries, nurse them back to full strength and try to relocate them. It's a sadly familiar story across the vast blue gum plantations of southwest Victoria and South Australia.
I think we're facing a crisis with these guys.
Broken limbs, impact wounds, broken backs, severed arm, dead mothers with joeys that are still alive, trying to survive. It's a huge issue.
When 7:30 exposed this issue in July, we noted many companies were involved, but singled out the biggest, Australian blue gum plantations. Each year, ABP ships 2 million tonnes of blue gum wood chip to pulp and paper manufacturers in Japan and China. Have you had animals from Australian blue gum plantations?
Yes. That one out in the tree. This was Australian blue gum plantation.
And do they know that you've had animals from Australian blue gum plantations? They know. For this poor fellow who's missing both an arm and a leg, it was obviously a slow and painful end. But the lingering problem for the Forest Stewardship Council and for the environmental auditor for this company, the Rainforest Alliance, is that FSC certification is meant to pledge that companies like Australian blue gum plantations will guarantee that all wildlife is vigorously protected. Following our report in July, Australian blue gum plantations issued a blanket denial through the Forest Stewardship Council.
When you choose an FSC product, you are contributing to a positive change in the world.
The chairman of the Forest Stewardship Council at the time was the chief executive of Australian blue gum plantations, Tony Price.
At that time, our harvesting operations and the procedures we were operating under, from our perspective, we felt that they were delivering the outcomes that we were looking for, and that is to avoid harming koalas.
As complaints against his company flooded in following our report, international environmental auditors, the Rainbow Alliance, launched an investigation into ABP and 730's claims.
We felt the program's essence was serious enough, and the feedback that we got from various stakeholders was serious enough that it warranted that immediate field investigation.
The investigation's report has now been published. It's damning of Australian blue gum plantations, given the numbers of koalas that continued to be injured, killed or found in poor health, e.g. suffering from pneumonia due to exposure. APB is not taking sufficient steps to recognise the extent of the issue and address the issue.
Across 6 areas, the Australian blue gum plantations were found to have what we call major non-conformances. So these are significant failures in their management systems related specifically to how they manage wildlife on their operations.
Australian blue gum's FSC certification has been suspended. It's a significant blow.
Really, FSC certification is almost becoming an essential in the forestry industry in order to do business.
The company's logging operations in vast koala habitats across southeastern Australia have also been suspended. Do you feel any guilt that it's taken this long that it's taken for you to be forced to take action? Do you feel any guilt about the numbers of koalas that have been injured or killed in that time?
If I could just take you back to you know,
It's a simple question, though. Do you feel any guilt about those numbers?
Of course I do.
We're
We're deeply sorry for the fact that our koalas have been harmed on our property. Deeply sorry. We're very, very keen to make sure that going forward we do everything we possibly can as a business to avoid harming koalas.
Last year, ABP was named the Forest Stewardship Council's Australian Forest Manager of the Year. So have you written to those who complained to the Forest Stewardship Council and to your company about the sort of problems that were presented in our program?
We responded to a number of emails that we had at the time.
Yes, denying any involvement. Have you written to those people since to correct the record?
No, I haven't.
And should you?
I believe I should.
Though he's resigned as chairman, inexplicably Tony Price remains a director on the FSC board. Having been found guilty of such serious breaches, do you not think it would be fair to step down as one of the leaders of the Forest Stewardship Council?
I come back to the point. We are focused on addressing some findings in an audit that we've just had, and our intention would be to get that audit, those things closed out, those corrective actions closed out, get them signed off by the auditor, and then have our certification reinstated.
As auditors are paid by the forestry companies they inspect, wildlife carers fear penalties won't be either tough enough or imposed frequently enough to deter ongoing mistreatment of koalas, and they'll be left trying to clean up the mess.